It's 2 a.m. You've been in bed for an hour. You're not sleeping. Your mind is running through everything you didn't finish today. Every awkward comment from a week ago. Every worst case scenario for tomorrow. You look at the clock. You calculate how many hours you have left if you fall asleep right now. The calculation makes it worse. And you lie there because lying in bed is supposed to be the thing that helps, right? Here's the part most people don't know. If you're lying in bed awake and anxious, you're not resting. You're training your brain. You're strengthening an association, and it's the association that may be making your insomnia worse over time. I'm a clinical psychologist, and today I'm going to walk you through a technique that comes from the first-line treatment for chronic insomnia. It feels counterintuitive. It's the opposite of what your exhausted brain wants you to do, but it works. And once you understand why, you'll want to use it. Here's the principle. Your brain forms associations. If you consistently lie in bed awake, worrying, scrolling your phone, watching the clock, your brain starts to associate your bed with wakefulness, frustration, and anxiety. Over time, the bed itself becomes a trigger. You lie down and your body activates instead of relaxing because that's what it's learned to do in that location. The intervention is called stimulus control, and the core rule is this. If you've been lying in bed for roughly 20 minutes and you're not falling asleep, get up. Leave the bedroom, go to a different room, do something quiet and low-key, read a book, sit on the couch, listen to something calm, and only go back to bed when you feel sleepy again. This feels counterintuitive. When you can't sleep, the last thing you want to do is to get out of your warm bed, but what you're doing is protecting the association. You're teaching your brain that the bed is for sleeping, not for lying awake and worrying. And over time, that association becomes powerful. The bed becomes a cue for sleep instead of a cue for anxiety. The same principle applies in the other direction, by the way. Try to reserve your bed for sleep. If you spend hours in bed during the day on your laptop, watching TV, scrolling, you're diluting the association. The bed becomes a general purpose space, and your brain doesn't get a clear signal when you lie down at night. This one surprises people because it feels like it should make things worse, but the logic is sound. Right now, if you're lying in bed, anxious and awake, you're practicing being anxious in bed. And every night you do that, the association gets stronger. Getting up breaks the pattern. It's uncomfortable in the short term, but within a week or two, most people start to notice a real shift. The bed starts to feel like a place for sleep again. Now, I know what people are going to say to this. If I get out of bed at 2 a.m., I'm going to be even more awake. I'm going to make it worse. And that is a reasonable concern. So let me address it directly. Yes, the first few nights might feel worse. That's expected. You're going to get out of bed, you're going to feel wide awake, and you're going to think this technique is broken. But it's not. You're breaking a pattern that took months or years to build. And the first signal that your brain gets is confusion. A few practical notes. Keep the lights low when you get up. Bright light signals your brain that it's morning, which is the last thing you want at 2 a.m. Don't get on your phone. The light and the content both activate you. Do something genuinely low stimulation. And when you feel sleepy, actually sleepy, not just tired, go back to bed. If you lie down again and it's not happening, get up again. I know, it feels ridiculous, but this is how the association gets rebuilt. Your brain has to learn that the bed is for sleep, and the only way it learns that is through repetition. Most people notice a real shift within a week or two. The bed starts to feel different when you lie down, and that's the association reorganizing. One responsible note. If you've been dealing with chronic insomnia, we're talking months of consistently poor sleep. The technique I've described is one component of CBT-I, but it works best as part of a structured protocol with a clinician. A therapist trained in CBT-I can tailor this, plus several other techniques to your specific sleep patterns. It's short term, usually a few sessions, and the outcomes rival or beat sleep medication. And that's not a failure of self-help. That's the most effective next step. So here's your experiment. For 1 week, if you're lying in bed awake for what feels like 20 minutes or more and you're not falling asleep, get up, leave the bedroom, keep the lights low, no phone, something low-key, come back when you feel sleepy. Just 1 week, and drop a comment and let me know. Are you going to try this? If this was your first video in this series and you want the full picture, the neuroscience of why sleep is driving your anxiety and the single highest leverage change you can make for your sleep, I made 2 other videos that go together with this one. I'll link them on the screen and in the video description. I'm Dr. Tab Shamsi. I post videos on anxiety, focus, and how your brain actually works. If that sounds useful, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.